feel you.
I love running so much, and I'm just so passionate about it. And I just I want people to try it, push through that first month of struggling to get fit, and just go for
it. Andy?
Hi.
Hi, we're so excited to be here with you today at Burnt HQ. Thank you for having us.
No, thank you guys for lugging all your equipment all the way here from Durban.
In our very official Making a Runner travel suitcase.
Yes, I'm going to send the invoice to Davey. He's gonna sort me out for that one. But, we're so excited to be here with you today to chat to you. I think, what you guys are doing down here is really fantastic. So to get it from you directly and get an idea of your journey to getting to this point, it's really going to be an exciting episode for us. So thank you for making your time available.
No, thank you so much. I'm really keen to get really nerdy about running. So here we go.
Cool. So maybe we can start right there then. You can tell us a little bit about your running journey so far.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So my running journey started quite late in my life, I'd say. Never was a runner at school or anything. Like, I'm naturally quite sporty or so, but did team sports, I did swimming, but never really ran or anything. I actually only started running like very casually in university. It was like the easiest way to not get too fat from
I also dabbled in university, but it didn't last very long.
Literally, it's like I would go through waves and I'm like, oh, how like first year syndrome is starting to kick my ass, and then at some point I would just, start running again. Never knew anything about what I did, just basically put on my tackies and I just went for a run. I would say about 2019, I really started falling in love with running in the way that I do it now, still really not knowing anything about like a structured program or anything, but it really got me out the door. It got me feeling good. It got me, the
endorphins. Yeah. Can I ask, was there anything that, in 2019, because you mentioned that as a specific, year, was there anything that, like the penny dropped or what was
spark.
What was that spark, and how did the running bug bite? Because it does bite, and once it bites, and it's like it's infectious. But was there anything that you can remember that really got you like very involved?
Backtracking a little bit from 2019, at some point I was, really unhealthy and unfit and everything, and I was actually on holiday with my family in Mozambique, and you just didn't feel well or anything. And my mom, she was a runner, she was hurdles, I think.
Okay.
Hurdler.
She was a hurdler.
Proper athlete.
She was an athlete at school and everything, and university, she's just one of those people who were really, really good. And she just told me, go for a run. And I'm like, the last thing I want to do now is go for a run. And she just said, trust me, go for a run or else,
Yeah.
And I just basically, I went for a run on the beach. I think I did like 2Ks. I got back, I was on the beach, and I told my mom, flip, I feel good.
Yeah.
And she said, remember this feeling.
Yeah.
Remember this feeling, because if you ever don't want to run, you're going to get back to this feeling. From there on, I kind of, ran a little bit more, and I don't know, just every now and then, twice a week or something, I would go running. But the turning point for me was entering a race. I never knew that I was competitive until I ran my first race.
I can relate a lot to the story. I want to ask, when did you fall in love with running? Do you have your
me specifically? I've always enjoyed running. It was something that I did. I played a lot of soccer growing up, so it was just part of the process of playing football. But I think I really just started enjoying running when I moved up to Belito, because there's such a strong community. We're going to get chatting a lot about the community element. So for me, it was just having other people to share the sport with. Yeah. And then Paris Marathon was the big one, the thing that got me hooked for life.
Yeah, okay. So Andy, you loved the racing component.
Yeah, so actually like at school, I was always like in the B team. I did swimming, but I'd always be like second to last, never
participation
really. I was
level,
a participation girl. You know, I never really stood out in sports or running or anything. My two brothers are really good at sports, but me, I sang choir and things like that. So when I entered my first race, it was kind of on a whim. I ran this race, had no idea what I was doing, and I really liked it. I was like, when you go into your first race or you go into a race, you always have like a finishing time in mind. And I kind of I asked my cousin, what's a good, like a first time or half marathon time? And she said like 2 hours.
Did you go from 0 to half marathon just like that, eh?
Sheepers.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
she's done it like most runners.
I was like a park run. Maybe start there.
No. Well, at this time, I was living on my parents' farm, and the closest race was like an hour's drive away, and that was the only race was a half marathon or a full marathon. So I took the easy route for my first race. But anyway, my cousin told me, okay, go for like 2 hours. I'm like, okay, absolutely, going for 2 hours. I came in at 1:55, and I'm like flying. I was on top of the world, and I just thought, this is the best feeling on this planet. Right that same day, I signed on for my next half marathon. I was going to be in New York, like a few months later. It really helped me get my visa and everything, I'm going for a race. Ran my second half marathon there, and it was the hardest experience of my entire life, I swear. It was this flat route. It wasn't the New York Marathon.
The Brooklyn Marathon?
I think
it's
so.
Called the Brooklyn
It
half.
was unlike their promenade thing. It was the coldest day that I've experienced it in my entire life. It was like raining sleet. We had to do the same route 4 times, and I couldn't feel my feet. It was horrific. Still came in under 2 hours. I was on top of the world, and then from there on, I just kept on.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Can I just say, to just go out and run a half marathon in under 2 hours with minimal knowledge about what you're actually going out there to do, just someone telling you should go run 2 hours, it's quite impressive, really. It shows you that you actually do have quite a lot of potential.
Well, I think I'm very lucky with the genes that I was born with. My mom's family in general are really sporty. My dad on the other side is also, sporty. And I was also born with this thing of how hard can it be? So I kind of
So you like to test yourself?
Yeah, I'm like, half marathon, how hard can it be? I just kind of did my thing. But from there on, did a couple of half marathons every single year. Still really not knowing what I'm doing, just trying to improve by a minute at a time. And then I did my first full marathon, the Cape Town Marathon, in 2019. So that's basically that was the turning point for me, where from there on, I think it's almost like a rite of passage if you're running a marathon, and that solidified it for myself as I'm a runner.
I'm a runner, yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that, because so many people
this is making a runner, so
there we go.
Thank you.
But I'm so happy to hear that, because so many people in this country, unless you've done 2 Oceans or done Comrades, it's always the same thing. Oh, well, you're not really
but hold
a
on,
runner until you've done it.
Because are you planning on doing 2 Oceans 56 or Comrades?
One day, yes.
Because there it is.
One day,
there
yes. But it's the right way of going about it, because most people will sign up for an ultra, and then they'll run their first 21, their first 42, just on the way to the ultra, and it becomes
that was me in 2020. COVID was actually COVID was actually really good for my running, because I did my first full marathon in 2019, and I thought, the only way is upwards and onwards, and that's 2 Oceans Ultra the next year, and Comrades. I was entered. I didn't know anything. I ran my first marathon not even fueling beforehand. I didn't know anything. So
fueling during?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Davey was still doing this last week.
That's horrible.
Excuse you.
Flip. So the races got cancelled, which I think it would have ruined running for me forever if I had run those 2 races without knowing anything.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the thing, is you don't just jump into an ultra.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
But you know what I genuinely love hearing is I can just hear the passion in your voice about your running journey, and I have the same passion. Nick has the same passion. A lot of runners, you just fall so head over heels in love with the sport, and I really just I love listening to somebody's journey of how they started, and because everybody's journey is unique to them. you know, and it's everybody's journey is relevant and it's special to them, and it's like nobody's journey is more important than others. We all love the same sports and we're all doing the same thing, but I really do just enjoy hearing everybody's unique story. And then I wanted to ask, so obviously you fell in love with running, and then where did, you know, Burnt get involved? Maybe we jumping the gun here, but
no, absolutely. So with, you know, finding my feet with running and training, a lot of that came with, you know, if I'm taking a bit of a female perspective here, you need to feel confident in your equipment, and equipment falling like including clothing. So I absolutely found a lack of support and confidence in the clothing that I had previously to starting Burn. So you can want to run as fast as you want, or jump as high as you want, or anything, but if your clothing holds you back, you can literally not be your best. If you are running and you've got a track session but your tights are like falling down halfway through, it's holding you back.
And also confidence, I mean,
absolutely, because so if you put on a piece of clothing and you feel, first of all, like supported, you stand up a little bit taller. You feel beautiful, so your clothing is very well designed. You are more keen to go out there and run your best and run your fastest.
Just look good, feel good. It's like it's the same for
100%.
us. Maybe for me,
No,
Nick,
for sure.
Nick doesn't really. I see you come in a track with like these like three-quarter.
Three-quarter nothing is good. If I have to be
The
honest.
least the better when we're training in the humidity that we train in. But I mean, is it fair to say that basically the start of your running journey sort of followed the start of Burnt, the brand?
Yeah, I would say they were like parallel to each other. So prior to really starting to run and taking it, I would say, like in quotation marks, seriously, I didn't have proper equipment and proper clothing with that. So with developing clothing that's made to support you and to enable you, I was able to live that as well. You know, I suddenly had tights that support me. I suddenly had a sports bra that support me. I suddenly felt confidence in my clothing, and with that, you live it. And I mean, that's as soon as I started getting these samples that we created with these incredible fabrics and, you know, the technology that we use, I started living what we are about.
Experiencing.
And you decided to take on the conglomerate organizations. I mean, I won't mention brand names, but I mean, obviously we know that it's not an easy industry to get into, because there's very well established companies and brands out there that, you know, do it all and have established, you know, their footprint in the country. I mean, did you see Burnt getting to where it is now when you started? Did you see it competing with these big brand names? Because it is. Yeah,
you dream and that's the ultimate aim. But 100%, I experience pinch me moments every month.
Do you think it was because you went the very woman-focused route and you built a, you know, good following there? Because the other brands, just from my experience, you know, like, unfortunately for South Africa, we're like constantly in the shadows. So European markets might do a whole bunch, and South Africa really never sees it. In terms of, you know, different ranges that they're producing. I've seen it firsthand. So do you think you guys being local and everything you do in South Africa is, you know, local is lekker, basically? It's you know, you guys are here first.
I think because I always say I'll never make that I don't wear, like that I won't wear.
Yeah.
So because we started out of like creating something that I would really love, I think portraying that passion and portraying that like belief in our clothing, it really resonated with our community and the community that we've built. I also think that there was a big lack of a fashion and like a beautifully designed element to performance wear, because that's the thing, is we're not here to be athleisure. We're not here to be just like a fashionable sportswear. Our products are performance and quality first, and well, fashion also first. It's
For
just
sure.
those two together, you know. So we take a lot of pride in what we do, especially from a design perspective. So both myself and our apparel designer Shanna, we're both runners, and with that, Pierre, he helps us develop the menswear. He's also really into fashion, but he's currently training for the Ironman 70.3
Yes.
there in Derbs.
Yes.
Um,
Good shout out.
Yeah, so it's before we ever launch anything, we test it properly, but we also style it in a way so that we know that we are that bridge between your fashion closet and your activewear closet, and all of that bringing together basically cultivating confidence in your day-to-day lives, because it's not mutually exclusive. It's not someone's not only a runner or not only a businesswoman or not only a this or that. We live holistic, balanced lives.
I really have to commend you on, the brand that you guys have built is incredible. And just the fact of the story that you're telling us, growing up, you sang in a choir, you weren't really the sportiest individual, to now being literally spearheading one of the biggest local fitness industry brands. I can imagine your pinch me moments.
For sure.
It's crazy. But how do you manage all of it? Because obviously you're chasing your goals as a runner as well, and in fitness, and obviously running a brand. It's a lot of work.
You know what?
How do you manage that balance?
I learn all the time. So I actually spoke to my mom about this a few days ago, and I told her, listen, I know that you need to have balance in your life. You need to take rest days and you need to take holidays and everything. But how do you manage it? I'm going to phrase this. Okay, I love the feeling when you are training at your best. You are 100% in. You're giving it your all. You are progressing. You are going for it. In my training, in our business, we go through times when we're absolutely flying. We're opening stores, we're launching new collections and everything, and I enjoy that, and I want to put all of my energy in there. So how do you manage it that you don't get burnt out? And she told me, yeah, we don't.
That can be the title of the
don't
episode.
get
Don't
burnt
get
out.
burnt
Don't
out.
get burnt out.
Or do.
Yeah.
So she said, if you are someone in your life or if you're someone that want to live an extraordinary life and you thrive off of that energy and you thrive off of that feedback that you're getting from you giving it everything, then you need to prioritize your rest as everything as well. So I actually going into the week before Two Oceans. This is technically taper week. Last week I couldn't even think of putting on my tackies. I was so tired. I tapered last week because I really needed that rest. So if you find a time in your life or months or anything that you really go for it all in, then when you feel that you need rest, go all in with your rest. Take a week. Don't just try and do a day or go for a early night once
every
that
now
week.
and then.
Yeah, so it goes through. What is your question again?
You're explaining going through those ebbs and flows right now.
Absolutely,
of
absolutely.
life.
So the positive and the fun and the excitement and everything is so rewarding.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's just when you've got that energy, go for it, enjoy it, give it all you got. But if you've got that week then when things are a little bit slower, where your emails are a little bit slower, you're not necessarily launching something now, you're not necessarily training for a race, then take a week.
Yeah, be kind to yourself as well.
Be kind to yourself. But it is something that I'm still struggling with at the moment. But it's not something that we can do without our team. I mean, if you spoke to me 3 years ago, that was myself and Pierre, and we were doing every single aspect of this business, but we've got an incredible team.
Tell us a little bit about Pierre. Come on, because you've mentioned we know Pierre, but give him a little bit of a shout out.
Okay, so Pierre and I, we've been together I think over 9 years now.
And Pierre is the other co-founder.
Pierre is my husband, and he's the other co-founder here at Burnt.
So what was Burnt an idea between the two of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And he backed because at the time it would have been a woman first brand, right?
Yeah. So Pierre's basically the business brand behind everything. He's absolutely incredible. if I would have done this by myself, I wouldn't have succeeded. The two of us complement each other holistically in our business and like in life as well. But in business wise, we've got different skill sets and almost different passions, you know. So he's very entrepreneurial, he's innovative, he's like business driven, and he's incredibly smart. Me, I like to make things pretty, you know. I like to,
which is important.
Very important, you know. So I basically make sure that we've got, you know, beautiful, functional products to sell, and he makes sure that we've got a business that's growing and healthy and everything. So we've got very complementary skill sets, and luckily it works out really well for us. We've got some like skills that overlap, but yeah. So he's.
And you started in 2019, right?
Yeah.
And then 3 years later, he finally got the men's range.
You're shame.
He's been knocking on that door, and then it's finally here.
You're shame. No, but you know, we decided initially we are going to focus on women because we saw the need for it first. Am I hearing cars in the background?
Yeah, obviously, guys, we are at the Burn Studios, and there is a car outside that's got its alarm going off. So that is what you are hearing. Just embrace it.
Yeah, so we decided to go into women's first. We thought that there's a bigger demand for it. It's just a whole bunch of considerations that we did. First of all, like the need for it was the most. Women tend to take on a new brand and a new product. They'll explore it a little bit quicker than men do.
And you were living it. You were in that situation.
Exactly. It was So was it your brainchild? Like, was it your idea? Sort of. Women need this, you know, and then
we considered like a couple of options, and then just when we thought of this, doing sportswear with or like quality activewear with a beautiful fashionable element, I said, flip, I need this, you know, and
if no one else buys it, I will.
Yeah, you know, because the thing is, like, Pierre was very happy. He's still going to the gym in his Marty's rugby shorts and an old, you know, school T-shirt. He was like, he was happy with that and doing his thing. But for me, I need a little bit more confidence to get myself in the gym. I needed a little bit more confidence to get myself on the prom, to go running and everything. So the need that I had, I also felt that there are more women, you know, in this country at least, who need this. But it was Pierre's idea to focus on women's first and establish ourselves as a proper, serious brand with a good community before we go and basically divide our attention.
And then Burnt Men. And if you don't mind me asking, obviously it's been going for, what, a year now?
The men's range?
Yes. Or
only 4 months?
Only 4 months?
Since December last year.
Yeah. Okay. And the market, how has it been?
It's been incredible. The feedback that we're getting is really, really great. I mean, we spent a year to develop the first range. We didn't want to drop something and then it's just like a lousy T-shirt and like a short. So we launched with like a whole proper collection, and the feedback that we're getting is amazing. My favorite thing to see is basically like a couple, like a
I was about to say,
a girlfriend, boyfriend.
Do you think it's the girlfriend buying the boyfriend?
Definitely. We see that often, even in Belito. Like when we first started noticing like a burnt shirt or like some pants, it would be like, no, my wife got me this one. She ordered online and she got this. No, I haven't gotten it yet. My wife sitting in the back here hasn't gotten the hinge yet.
Come on, guys. Come on. You could have been prepared for this meeting at least.
Says Davey over here.
Yeah, but we know.
I'm just ignoring both of your sweatshirts.
Sorry. It's cold in Cape Town. I didn't expect it.
Typical.
But so now Burnt Men,
yes.
right? Now, obviously you guys are trying to grow the men's range, and is there more exciting new launches coming that people can look forward to?
Yeah, well, if you turn around, you'll see our little bit of a planning on there.
Take some sneak peeks.
Yeah.
And when are you making your first pair of shoes? That's what I want to know. Come on. Mr. can do it. You can do it. We can edit that out.
I'm not interested in a shoe. Not at all. No, you know, never say never. I would love to have a shoe, but I think to develop a shoe is a hell of a different ballgame than to develop a pair of tights.
But I'm sure you guys are entrepreneurs and you guys are reaching for the stars. So I'm sure there's been a conversation somewhere.
Oh, all the time. I have shoe designs on my laptop.
But running shoes? Really?
Yeah.
Carbon fiber plated. But
If I make a running shoe, hell yeah, it's going to have some carbon fiber in there.
But it's
Do
also
it.
what we're talking about, right? Like you're saying, like, you know, you need to put your energy where you want your growth to be. So
Yeah.
now if you are focusing on your wear to, you want the growth to be there. Now, if you're trying to spread yourself thin over growing into shoes and other different pieces of equipment, it might affect all the other elements as well as your personal life and your running life.
Yeah.
So I guess you guys know best when it comes to that.
I think if we're a bigger team with bigger capacity, we'll probably be able to go into something like that. But where we are right at this moment, our team is fully loaded. We are working really hard to expand within our product development of men's and women's activewear, and, you know, bringing some athleisure things in there as well. But the biggest thing for us now is to expand within our retail stores, because what we've just seen is that physical connection with customers is a whole different thing. You can, like we did our absolute best with, especially over COVID time, to create a community with, you know, an online community basically. And I think we did that really well. But now the fact that we can physically, almost I want to say touch our customers.
Yeah, but
we can, it's
no.
a physical connection that we have with our customers now, which is making a massive.
I mean, it makes sense. But I mean, in a world that, you know, everybody loves online shopping, you know, it's super convenient. And you guys are open. I mean, how many stores do you have open at the moment?
We have 2 open at the moment. We are actually opening one in Mall of Africa next week, Friday.
Sure, exciting.
I mean, and then for a small brand, I mean, opening up, you know, when I say small brand, I mean in comparison to your global corporations and stuff like that. I mean, I know global corporations in South Africa that have 1 store in this country, you know. I mean, obviously, what have you found? So, like you say, people love coming in store, trying the stuff on, and do you think there's a need for that more than there is for online shopping? Do you think, especially with clothing, people want to try it on? I mean, because I know I stress about ordering something, because you order something, and then it comes, and the sizes are small, but it's too small or too big, and then the returning, and it's a hack.
I know. So we excuse me, just before we opened our first store in Stellenbosch, like I knew that there was a demand for, or like a need for, like a physical shopping experience, especially for you know, activewear, because you want it to fit really nice. But I didn't know the need was that big. So when we first opened our first store in Stellenbosch, it was so much easier for someone to make that first purchase, you know, because first of all, like a product may be how beautiful, but if it doesn't fit like really nicely or supportive, or the fabric's not nice, you're not going to be happy with it. So people going in store, feeling the fabric, seeing the quality that we produce, trying it on, having confidence in their sizes, just for that first purchase, and having that personal experience in store, because our shop assistants obviously help you with your sizing and you know, specifically the activity that you want your clothing for. And then from there on, it's really easy to shop online. So now you've got your first purchase, and now you can just, you know, tell everyone, hey, birthday on a small.
Just allows you to grow that much quicker. So when can we expect something closer to us?
In Durban.
KZN
Hey,
is always.
if you find us a good location,
We'll be in touch.
we're on it.
Define good location.
Where do you want to shop?
I'm Slotty.
No, not the right place for a burnt studio store, Davey.
No, we'll think about it.
We'll think
I'll
about
probably
it.
have
Get
to visit Durban first. I've never been.
Come on down.
I honestly think Belito's the place, though. Belito.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Belito Junction.
I'm sure
Leah
would be
I've got some
thrilled about
contacts
that.
in Junction. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Give me a call.
But I want to say also,
Yeah.
having been into one of your stores, I think, you know, you get the whole ethos of the brand when you walk into the store. Like you feel like a part of the brand. And I think that makes a huge difference to online shopping. Even if I know something like that I can get online, it will be fine. Like for me, like if it's not fun, like it's a schlep to send it back. I'd just rather not do it. But when I'm in a store, like you say, trying things on, but just getting that good feel from the brand itself, I think is a game changer. So I'm very excited for you guys to be opening more
thank you.
stores. That's
we're
awesome.
very
It's
excited
huge.
about
And
it.
so speak to us about Burnt Running Clubs, because obviously, I mean, Burnt as a brand, as a clothing brand, you know, you're very much community driven. When did you guys start your Burnt Running Clubs, and how have they been going? And just talk to us about that journey.
Yeah, so we I'm actually bad with dates. I think we had our first like run here in Cape Town about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So that was actually before we had a store. This was a very fun way of us to connect with our customers. Just, basically doing a bit of a meetup, doing a 5K run. And then with that, you'll post it on social media, and then everyone in Stellenbosch is like, we want to run in Stellenbosch, and then we'll start a run in Stellenbosch. And we've got 5 locations at the moment. We've got Cape Town, Stellies, Joburg and Pretoria, and Durban.
Ooh.
Just
Congrats.
We've got a Durban run in there.
And Durban.
The girls were very persistent that we started a run there. So basically, we do like a summer run series where twice a month we've got 2 run there's my Afrikaans coming through.
Captain. You can say it like that, please.
We've got 2 running captains per location. Basically, heading up the runs, we do a really easy 5K, and then we've got a wonderful sponsorship with Vida, which everyone who goes to a run gets a free coffee afterwards.
So
and
it has to start from a Vida, obviously.
Oh, well, if it doesn't, then we get these nice iced coffees from them. So they
lovely.
sort us out. Yeah.
Oh,
And do you have to wear burnt to go and join these
You don't
runs?
have to, but
it's frowned upon.
It's frowned
I'm
upon.
asking for a friend.
We'll just have to.
Frowned upon.
If you ever need, just give us a call. No, but what we've realized with these running clubs is, even though running is a sport that's quite easily accessible in a way, you basically just need some activewear and a pair of trainers, and you don't need to buy a bike and a helmet or anything. A lot of people find it a little bit intimidating just to get into it. I think I'm thinking back to when I started running, there was nothing basically out there for me to consume to put me on a bit of a path, unless I went to go search for a training program. But these days, there's a lot of information on social media, and I think it's a little intimidating because everyone's speaking about tempo runs and paces and long runs and track sessions and progressive runs.
How do you just get into it?
How do you just get into it? So if you just want to go for a run and just feel a little bit better, if you've got all this information and you're thinking the only way that I can start running is if I do 3 quality sessions and I do strength training and this and this and this, that's the only way to run. But it's not. It's literally just getting together and just getting your heart rate elevated for a little bit and
that's where
that's
where those social running clubs come into.
Exactly.
But I mean, especially in Cape Town, Cape Town's almost, I wouldn't say saturated, but Cape Town's unbelievable. I mean, Joburg and Durban cannot get it right at the moment in terms of we have running clubs, but those are official running clubs. That's DHS, Old Boys, Dolphin Coast Striders, Fokker Chiefs, everybody licensed. We have clubs, and they've got good communities behind them. But you guys have got Must Love Hills, Cool Runnings Club, Running Lake Club, Run for Coffee. There's tons, your Burnt Running Club and all of that. So it very much, there's obviously a need for just that social running element where you don't have to be part of a club and it's buy your license, and it's just it's for the community.
And actually, speaking about what we basically started the podcast with was, when do you classify yourself as a runner? And you don't actually even have to even run a race to be a runner. If you've put on your socks and your duckies and you've broken a sweat, you're a runner. And these running clubs that we socially create basically just helps you get into that. And I think a lot of people find the first month of starting to run, even if you've run before and you're just trying to get back into it, or you've never run before, that first month is really difficult. Every single run that you do, you're struggling and you think this is running, you're in pain and you're out of breath and everything. But if you've got a community around you that keeps you accountable, not telling you have to be there, but they're flip girl, kom ons gaan hardloop. Just getting past that first month even to getting yourself on the road and making you feel a little bit better, and then from there on you can start running and you can start all the way.
It makes a big difference to have a starting point, because even as you said, when you were starting out, in that first run that you went on was a 2K run, it's okay. there's nothing wrong with going for even a 1K or whatever you can manage to start out, but it's about having that safe environment to go and do it. And obviously being in South Africa, safety is a concern as well. So it's always nicer to go and do it as a community. And then if you have people that are willing to support you and guide you through that initial phase, as you say, the first couple of weeks are always going to be the most challenging of any new adventure, and running is no different to that. If someone wants to join some of your runs, how can they find out about them? Is that on social media, on your site?
Yeah, so we normally run it in the summer months. It's just a little bit
Cold.
You're better in the summer. We've now just basically finished our summer run series end of March, I think. Yeah, end of March. But what we normally do is basically at the beginning of a month, we post our 2 different dates on our Instagrams, and with that, we've got Strava groups per location.
Yeah.
And then on the Strava groups, the captains post the route, the starting times, you can RSVP on there. You can see some of your friends are going. You can see it's a big run or a small run or whatever. And then also the day before, or the week before and the day before, we also just post on our Instagram. So that's the best way to find us.
So I mean, I wanted to ask, and it's quite a tough question, so I do apologize. But obviously, the running, like you mentioned, it can be quite intimidating to get into running, right? We, as runners, find running to be a very open community. But my wife, for example, who's not a runner, struggles to get into it, into running, because she's intimidated by various things, how fast people run, the certain friendship groups that they have, and all of that. And then with Burnt Running, with your Burnt Running Club, how do you guys, or are you making yourself out to be a community open for anybody to join?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I know that it's intimidating to get into like
it can be quite clicky.
Yeah.
And then
or if you just see like everyone knows each other and it's your first time joining, like you don't know who to speak to first. So basically the way that we approach it is the captains, we choose them on not only their running ability but also their personality. So our running captains are really open. If they see that someone's new, they approach them, say, "Flip, hi, how are you? I'm Andriana. How are you feeling today? Welcome to the club," everything. And then our running pace from there on is very easy. So we've got some people walking. We've got some people, the majority of the group is like a really easy pace. And then we've even got people who end their long runs with our easy run, or they do our 5K as a warm up, and then they go for a sprint session or something. So we've got runners of all abilities, and it's really important for us to have like open arms.
I think it is so important for the running community as a whole, just to always, try and be as open to everybody as possible, which obviously you guys are doing, which is great to hear. I mean, there are certain clubs and stuff which can be quite
I think it's club culture, but at the same time it's always going to be difficult, as you say, rocking up, regardless of how friendly people are. You as an individual who's got a goal to start running, or want to get fitter, or wants to lose a little bit of weight, whatever your goal is, you got to be able to take that first step.
No, absolutely.
And I think knowing that there are safe places that you can go to, there's going to be no judgment, it's going to be an easier effort to get into, that helps a lot. And also, as you said, the time of year helps a lot as well, because if it's cold and dark, it's unlikely to be a good experience first up. But I hope that your running doesn't take a dip during winter. Hey,
no. She's a professional runner over here.
That's why I want to take it back. I want to find out more. Last I heard was 2019 Cape Town Marathon. Where's it been since then?
So 2019 Cape Town Marathon, wow. I had such a weird experience there, just internally. Like I wasn't really like a confident runner or anything that time, didn't know anything. So first of all, didn't fuel before a run. Some way, someone told me, remember to fuel during a run. I'm like, aha, I got this little bar
at 32 Ks probably.
Literally, at 32 Ks, I took my fast bar that I got in my race bag.
This will save me.
Yeah, and I ate it, and I was so sick for the rest of the race. Right. But I also didn't know how to pace or anything. Had a goal time in mind of like 4:15. Came in at 4:04, so I was stoked.
Hey.
Absolutely.
You're
but
an overachiever, eh?
yeah, all my
You
I
give
just
yourself
set
that buffer. Like,
I just set myself like really low, like goal settings. No, I'm kidding. That was just like starting out. I had no idea what I was doing. COVID year, super weird. I barely ran. Well, everyone.
It was a bit difficult.
Yeah, but I was.
but surprisingly, also people just got into running.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did like the opposite, and I mean, I was even on my parents' farm. I
So
could
you had
go
space.
run.
No.
Davey developed an RTB pain from running around the same
It
parking
wasn't
lot
I
in
know.
the
RTB. It wasn't
same way.
RTB. I did a marathon in my car park.
I know. I know.
And I got
I have
hip
listened
pain.
to your podcast
Okay.
before.
Hip pain.
No, I
pain.
know. That's the thing. That was so weird. But I think it came from me overcommitting at the beginning of the year, going like 2 Oceans Comrades. And when those 2 races were cancelled, I'm like, thank goodness I didn't do this to myself. Anyway, got back. 2021, what was last year?
2022.
Okay, so 2021, I just wanted to do sub 4. I did
So this was
three-
Cape Town
353.
So when we were there as well, 2021.
Yeah,
Okay.
2021. I just wanted
Nice.
to do sub 4. I did 353. Last year.
Just snuck in under the 4, eh?
Yeah, I just made it.
Oh,
And
jeez.
then last year I wanted to improve even more. See, I didn't know
Well,
I was competitive.
Well, let's
yeah,
hear
I
it
am
though.
competing
So
with
what did you
myself.
want? What did you want?
345.
And what did you get?
339.
Okay, so 339 last year, hey?
Yes.
Oh, that's
You should have started there.
that's a very good time.
That's a very
Thank
good
you.
time, yeah.
I never really know, like, am I a good runner or not? I think I'm faster than average, but I don't think I'm, like, fantastically fast.
I think you're a good runner. It sounds like you're a good runner. It sounds like you're at the start of your running journey.
And
which
do
is
you
the
have a
exciting
coach?
part.
I don't have a coach.
Let me introduce you to my good friend
Okay,
sitting next
Davey,
to me, Nicola
We'll shake
Akampora.
hands across the table, Davey, but we'll save this conversation
Okay,
for
sorry,
later.
sorry,
Thank you
sorry.
for the introduction.
That's
Davey.
right.
But
Yeah.
so 2022,
Yes.
339.
Mhm.
So you got under that 340 when you wanted under 345.
Yeah.
You running 21 at 2 Oceans this weekend. What is your goal for the
Sub
21?
130.
Sure, no.
Oh, sorry.
Straight in, eh?
Oh,
All the way to the
yeah.
top.
That's absolute goal one day. But it's super weird. Even though I've been running like marathons consistently like every year, I haven't really raced a half marathon in 4 years. which
That's
is
exciting
weird.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 21K is such a nice distance. I always say this
love
to
that
everyone. I
distance.
think it's probably my favorite distance. We often find ourselves doing like ultras and marathons because that's what we do in our training. But 21K is so
Tough.
much fun. It's tough.
It's tough.
It's tough, but it doesn't put you out for a couple of days afterwards. Like it's a hard effort when you're
Doesn't,
doing
yeah.
it. It's a short effort, so you still have your whole day.
Yeah.
And it's a nice way, like to travel, be able to do a 21K. Like I think 21K fitness is probably my sort of ideal goal. When someone asks me, like, I want to get into a good routine of running, I want to be able to say to them, you should be able to go and run a 21K, like be able to do 15Ks on the weekend. Like that's a nice place
Yeah.
to be at
I
with your
totally
running.
agree. That was my like goal for this year, is to improve my 21K time. Last year, everyone like before the marathon, they asked me, okay, so are you going to do Comrades? Are you going to do 2 Oceans? And I'm like, heck yeah, I am. And literally after that, I'm like, no.
Take some
I
time.
cannot imagine running another 14 kilometers after finishing a marathon just to do like the ultra. That's
Yeah.
hectic. So
and then another, 34
And
kilometers.
Yeah,
you,
for
you,
that
you
yeah.
speak to some people and they're like, oh no, the ultra is short. The 56K, that's beauty about it, is that it's short because it's
Yeah.
not 90Ks.
That's the
No,
mentality
you're
that I'm
mad.
in at the moment. I'm like, this
it's
is
so weird.
a short race.
It's a different mentality.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
you've got, like I said at the start of the podcast, I think you've got a very healthy bug for running, where a lot of people have got an unhealthy bug for running. They're either running away from something or they're trying to cover up some other elements in their life with the running. So they dive straight into the ultra element. And I think that's not a healthy way of growing as a runner. What you're doing right now is great. You know, you're spending your time in the shorter distances. You're trying to get faster. You've done a couple of marathons, which is a huge deal. In this country, we don't make enough of a big deal about running 42Ks. It's a huge deal. And then, you know, if and when the 56s and the 90s come your way, I think you would have built a nice base to build from rather than going about it the other way.
Yeah, I agree.
Nick is very happy about
I'm
this.
very- I'm very
as a
happy.
coach, Nick is...
I am very happy.
is
So
very
what is your
happy.
goal for 2 Oceans this weekend?
I don't know.
Because whatever you say, I'm going to minus like 10 minutes from it, because that's the trend. Did you see the trend?
I know. I've got no idea what I'm going to do.
What's your gut telling you?
My
What would you be happy with? And don't say anything under 2 hours. What would you be happy with?
anything under 2 hours, I'll be crawling.
Anything under 145.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got like 143
So
in my
135.
head.
Oh.
No, I don't actually.
We'll
don't
see.
think
No,
I'll
but
do-
we'll see. It's a tough route.
That's
For a
the thing.
21K, it's a tough
Yes,
route.
it
I
is.
mean, have you done the 21K?
I have not.
It's a nasty route. You start
Mm.
on like a disgusting, what's that hill there? I don't even know what it's called.
They're in Newlands.
Yeah,
I
and it's
mean,
in the
that's
dark.
like
It's
a-
a very
that's
tough route, eh?
It's a very tough route. I mean, that hill is even hectic on the Argos. You have to
Mm.
cycle it. I have to run it. Yeah, so
But a beautiful route, nonetheless.
it is a beautiful route. I'm really excited for it. I do feel a little unprepared, to be completely honest. Like I thought I'd be a little bit more prepared.
But sometimes
it's
that's
fine. Yeah.
that's when the best races actually happen, is when you
When
You
you
know,
don't put too much
when
pressure
you don't
on
put
yourself.
too much
Yeah.
pressure. You just
So I told Pierre that I know that I'm going to feel like I'm dying, but I'm not actually dying, so I'm just going to push through.
yeah. it's
just gonna,
unless you are actually dying, then
then I'll just.
And I
flag
hope
a
that
medic.
you've taken care of your nutrition.
I
are
do.
you carbo loading?
I'm not so much carbo loading. I'm just actually eating carbs.
Ah,
That's the right way.
2 grams of carbs.
You already got
Sorry,
it wrong.
10
You
grams.
got it wrong.
It's been a while, hey?
Wrong
10
wrong.
grams of carbs per kg of body
so,
weight.
so what are you doing?
Me at the
Yeah.
moment, I'm just trying to survive through my day. It's been a busy time. But I will start doing 10 grams of carbs per
You're
every
looking,
kg.
looking a bit depleted, Davey. I
Yeah.
saw him today. I was like, "Have you been eating?" He's like, I haven't really focused yet." He's got to focus now.
You
'cause
have
He's
to.
got a
You're
couple of
running like
days.
56 kilometers in how many? 5 days? 3 days? 2 days?
Less.
Yes,
3
Oh.
days.
2 days,
3 days be there.
10 hours, 32 minutes now.
So Davey's from one of our podcasts, Annie. It was Annie's podcast, that she spoke about the amount of carbs per gram of body weight that you have to take in. So she said 10 to 12 grams in terms of like a carb load. So Davey weighing 70, 60. He went and tried to have 700 grams of carbohydrates, which per day, which is a lot of.
Do you know how
carbohydrates.
it's actually crazy? I'm sure you have MyFitnessPal.
Uh-huh.
You just try it. Even try and do half. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But nutrition is important.
Nutrition is
and
important,
it
but
did
that's
help.
the reason why you've got these little sachets these days.
No, but
No?
it's leading up to it. That's arguably the most important time.
No, definitely. But I mean, if you're not going to be eating like a whole bag of potatoes per day.
MyFitnessPal says you should.
MyFitnessPal
So
says you
just
should.
try something different. No, you're not going to, yeah.
So you've got your nutrition better. You
Much
know what you're
better.
going to do on the day.
Yes, I
you're not
do.
going to be having that bar that made you feel
No, but it's actually, yeah. I know that we can have like a whole conversation on nutrition as
Yeah.
well. It's just something that it's a really weird like thing to try and figure out initially, especially if you're coming from, I was like really young when I started running, and the only reason why I was running initially was to make sure that I, don't get.
We've had this conversation.
fat.
It's like it's the difference between nutrition for performance, or running for performance, which needs nutrition for performance, and then running for, I don't know, mental well-being or just weight loss or whatever. So it's
Yeah.
like there is like it's
You're
not
almost
black and-
deciding. Yeah. You're almost deciding
you're
before.
either one side or the other.
Yeah.
So it is difficult for a lot of people. Like we've even spoken about it. Even for me, at one point, it was
and
like
especially women. I think women
Yeah,
struggle
especially
with it a
women.
lot more because obviously that there's other factors at play. There's hormonal factors at play. And do you find that that's something that you take into consideration as well when you're training, or not really?
Yeah, absolutely. So just by the way, me being like I would say like a normalish like runner. I'm I'm not like winning races, but I've got structure to my
You're
program. and
everyday
everything.
runner.
So
Yeah.
I'm an everyday runner, absolutely. So the question that I get asked the most is, what do I eat and what is my nutrition? I think because there's not a lot of information out there on this specific thing. You've got a lot of information on how to perform and how to fuel for performance if you are doing triathlons and you're basically like running. Gerda Stein, there's nutrition on that, but there's not a lot of people who's just educating you on how to fuel for normal long run without eating 700 grams of carbs, or going for a run and thinking that you're going to save calories because you want to, become a little bit leaner, and then you're
or burn
shaky
those calories
by the time that you get at the end of your run. There's not a lot of information on that kind of like middle part, and that's kind of like what I've been figuring out over the past few years is how can you be a lifestyle runner? Every now and then you are focusing on running a race, but you're not at that like peak performance level all the time. So you've got to you got to have like that
balance.
mid-evac.
It's the balance.
I think it's a bit of a taboo topic though as well. Like people don't like talking about it. People don't like advising on it. And especially like you don't like to advise someone to do something because it only works for you.
Exactly, yeah.
Nutrition is such a complex thing that it becomes difficult to figure it out. And most of the times, the only way you do figure it out is through trial and error. And in order to do that, you have to make the mistakes. Like you had to take that bar at 32 Ks to know, okay, no, I need to get my nutrition on it. Exactly, right? Yeah. So a lot of people make mistakes and they learn. Yeah. And that's often the problem with that newbies find coming into the sport is you can have as much information accessible to them, but until they've experienced the issue, they've experienced that energy deficit, they've experienced the overtraining, they are likely to make the same mistakes. And that's, I think, a way of learning as human beings, So it's the same thing with running. The more time you spend running, the better you become at it. And I think, as you taking it back to your question of not knowing where sort of your running journey is going in terms of like, what is your talent level? The talent level that you're born with is what you're born with. We all have varying levels of talent, but what we do with that talent and how we look after our body, well, that's up to us, right? So we got to listen to our body, like you did last week. You were feeling tired, so you took a rest. Didn't run too much. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Now you extra tapered, so now you're gonna be gunning for that 143. Now you've said it.
I'm going to let you guys know what a 2-week taper feels like.
But, you've had to learn. And I think the main thing comes down to, as long as you're listening to your body, you should be able to make the right decisions for you.
Yeah.
And there's enough information out there available if you're willing to dive deep enough and make the mistakes as well to learn. But I just want to sort of tie off the conversation.
I have a quick question about nutrition while we're on the topic.
Okay.
Do your burnt shorts have pockets for nutrition?
Which ones?
The men's shorts.
And ladies?
Ladies, our tight shorts do. Got a little bit of sneaky pocket here in the back. Our new like looser shorts do not.
So you've thought of that element to it?
We thought of everything.
There you go. Brilliant. So now you know. If you're looking for some stuff for nutrition,
But the nutrition pants are hard to find for guys, I must say, because you want something that's tight enough, that can carry enough. Because say now Davey and I are going to try and run 4 hours at Oceans in a couple of days' time. And we thinking, 60 to 80 grams of carbohydrates per hour. Now,
but you don't listen to me. I've already given you the answer.
Just wait.
Okay.
20 grams per sachet. So now we're taking, essentially, you should be taking 3 to 4 sachets per hour. Now over 4 hours,
that's like
16
sachets.
Can your pants do that?
No pants can do that, Nick. No pants. God. Magic pants. I don't know. But if you could do that, you would have 2 clients. Right?
More than 2.
Yeah. More than 2.
She's thinking about it. She's figuring it out.
I am.
Product developers right here, David.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
I'm still stuck on the 16 sachets.
Yeah, no, that's a lot.
You're taking one every 15 minutes.
But the good news is you get lighter as you go. So they just need to just hold it for like, after every 20 minutes, it's like lighter and lighter.
That's ideally what we should be doing, but it's hard in practice.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And if you've got seconders, we will be. But if you've got seconders that can meet you halfway and give you half the stuff, or run with a pack, that's the other options that you have.
I can give you some stuff in Hart Bay. I'll be there.
Okay.
There we go.
Deal.
We got our insider. So
that's what he was trying to get at, actually. Can you help us out?
I will.
Where are your goals and aspirations going? But personally, professionally, in terms of running, like what can we expect from you?
Oh, big question. Let's start with running, because I think that'll be quick. For me, just keep on improving every single year. I think I do need a coach, if you know someone.
We'll figure something out. We'll chat.
I'm also looking for one. So.
We'll do 2-for-1 special. We can jump on.
Yeah, we'll do that. I actually just want to see what my potential could be with running. This year I'll definitely want to see if I can break a 140 half marathon. Hopefully. I don't know. I'll see how it feels. Maybe even
130, yeah.
Are you going to do Cape Town again, marathon?
100%.
No.
I'll
Is
do
it?
that every single year. It's my
Okay.
favorite race ever.
We might see you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will see you there.
Awesome.
If I
Okay.
survive, comrades.
You will. If you're saying that 2 Oceans 56 is a short run, then
Yeah, but comrades is
It's a long run.
it's a bitch.
isn't it downhill this year?
Doesn't matter. It was
It
downhill
was
last year.
Last year, okay, uphill.
I'm still shell shocked.
Shit.
Anyways.
Okay, yeah, and then just because I love running so much, I want to do one of the Abbott's majors this
Marathons.
or
Hey.
next year.
Berlin.
And then Berlin.
We'll see you there.
Seems like we're gonna be
We're
like
following
this.
the same journey.
When are you guys buying flight tickets?
Yeah,
Just
no,
maybe on the
we'll
same
make a
flight.
plan.
So one day I would like to run all the Abbotts and then just see basically how I
Very
improve
cool.
my running. And then with that, my big goal basically with my running is just through sharing what I do, help especially women basically just get into running. Not even be the best or anything like that, just because it's changed my life so much. And it's not like I said, I'm not the best. I don't know everything. But running for me is this one constant in my life that keeps me grounded. It's almost like an emotional experience for me. When I run, like you get this sense of relief every now and then. It's amazing.
We feel you.
I love running so much, and I'm just so passionate about it. And I just I want people to try it, push through that first month of struggling to get fit, and just go for it.
I've got the headliner, burning passion.
That's it, Davey.
Okay, so-
You've solved the
We've
problem.
got a thumbs up from Leah there in the back.
Burning passion.
Burning passion.
Yeah, so basically that's just running. It's one of the big
Yeah.
loves of my life, and I'm just going to keep on going with that. Then business-wise, this year is very full with us launching a whole bunch of new products and basically just giving our customers everything that they could ever want and everything that I want. Because like I said, I just create what I want.
Yeah, you put your heart and soul into it. Eh? So
Literally. Well, it's expanding with the retail stores and everything, but big goal with Burnt is basically just to be a brand that enables you to be your best. So whether that's running, whether that's, just feeling healthy and strong in the gym, whether it's just you feeling really confident when you're just wearing one of our pair of tights, it's basically we want to be the tool that enables you to be your best.
100%, yeah.
Wow.
Being happy with just who you are and
Yeah,
Confident.
making you feel confident.
and like you said in the beginning, clothes are such a big part of that. So
Yeah. You're not going to run in something that chafes you. You're not going to run in something that doesn't support you. Not going to run in something that doesn't carry 16 sachets
There we
of
go. Yeah.
goose when you're doing your
We need the
rotation.
right stuff. The
Exactly.
tactical wear is everything.
It's literally like the products that we make can literally help you be your best. So that's the big overarching goal with what we
there's
do.
no shortage of passion.
No, for sure. That was excellent. I really enjoyed that conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing all of this. I think
Yeah.
thank you for sharing your journey, and thank you for sharing your offices with us
You're
and
most
having
welcome.
us here. We look forward to seeing the progress and seeing where Burnt as a brand goes from here. But we're
you.
excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys are doing. I absolutely think it's so cool to have, like I told you in our first Zoom meeting that we had, like I listen to a lot of podcasts and it's always relevant to another environment. It's always relevant to America or England or something. So it's so refreshing and so fun to listen to two guys chatting to, my idols, Gerda,
Our idols, as well.
Mariella,
Yeah.
everyone, it's these people that not only do they speak in your accent,
yeah.
but it's speaking of products that I know, speaking of routes that I know, speaking about races that I will be able to go run, next weekend or anything. It's so relatable and it's so fun to see you running not only as like not as inaccessible, but really actually very accessible.
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever
very
said to
nice.
us.
I think
about
that's
our Bob. Cut it. Ended it right there.
Thank you, Andy. It's been a pleasure being here, and we wish you all the best for your sub 145 on the weekend. I'm sure, but by the time we release this, we'll be able to tell people how it went.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. I really had a good time. Thanks.